Good evening. There's been a remarkable show of mercy from the mother of a Rye tradie who was shot dead in a botched home invasion. She says she forgives her son's killers because she doesn't have room for anger.
Her firstborn son killed by a gunshot to the chest, yet a grieving mother manages this.
I do forgive them, absolutely. I'm devastated. My son's not here. But I don't have room for anger.
Jack Gilmore woke to Mason Matticoli, Charlie Hayter and Tyler Vandesteeg smashing through the front windows of his Rye home in December 2024. They wanted drugs and cash and came armed with a loaded rifle. The tradie confronting the intruders while his girlfriend hid in the bathroom. Moments later, 2 people were dead, one of the killers crying in court today.
Jackson was not a horrible person. He came from a beautiful family, he had beautiful friends.
Matticoli and Vandesteeg have already pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Today they pleaded for a lenient sentence. Defence barristers for both men made the case that their clients are remorseful and can still turn their lives around. But Justice Dixon made the point that there is a glaring omission here. Neither man has told the full truth. Still, no one knows who pulled the trigger. Intruder Charlie Hayter died too, both co-accused men leaving her and Gilmore for dead as they fled, later met by Jared Smith, who set fire to the getaway car. Do you regret being involved on that day, Jared? All 3 men will be sentenced on July 17.
We're not vengeful people. It's not even in our nature. It's not who we are.
Laura Turner, 7 News.
2 people are in hospital tonight after a wild crash at a Diamond Creek shopping strip. Tyra Stowers is at the Royal Melbourne Hospital. And Tyra, this must have been terrifying.
Yes, a huge shock, Mitch. Certainly not what you'd expect when getting a haircut. Now, it is understood that a barber and his customer are still here at the Royal Melbourne Hospital tonight after that out-of-control car slammed into a popular bakery and then into an adjoining barber shop, while the 77-year-old man behind the wheel somehow managed to plough right through the front of Ferguson Blair on Mainhurst Ridge Road just after 1:30 this afternoon.
He drove into our fridge, so all that's been damaged. Obviously the glass outside, that's all damaged as well.
Now, a man in his 30s sustained lower body injuries. He's now stable. The man in his 60s, he's also stable tonight, and he sustained upper body injuries. But they are both very lucky men, Mitch.
Yes, indeed. Tyra Stowers at Parkville, thank you. A defiant Jacinta Allen is rejecting mounting calls for a royal commission into fresh corruption allegations on big build sites. There are claims taxpayer millions are still flowing to underworld figures, but the Premier blames inflation for cost blowouts.
Despite intensifying pressure and concerning corruption claims, Premier Jacinta Allen still backs the integrity of her government's biggest projects.
There is no evidence of government corruption on the big build.
But that doesn't rule out corruption by others. Damning weekend reports of criminals infiltrating big build projects to make millions, described as an unprecedented scandal. Not enough to prompt a royal commission because the Premier insists it would take too long.
I've absolutely taken responsibility as Premier to take the strong action required to weed out this rotten culture.
Today she blamed cost blowouts on increased wages and material costs.
Now that's not corruption, that's inflation.
Do you accept there has been corruption at some level on big build projects? It's a pretty simple yes or no question.
Well, I accept that there are
allegations
and
but
evidence.
Do you accept that some of it is true?
I accept that there has been allegations made.
In an interview last night, corruption investigator Jeffrey Watson was damning.
He said he sees no evidence of you acting responsibly. Is he wrong?
He is wrong.
She insists police and others are investigating.
The Labor Hire Authority have cancelled 164 construction industry licences.
How many were working on the big build, firstly?
Well, I'd have to refer you to the Labor Hire Authority.
And how many of them were related to corruption as the cause?
I would refer you to the Labor Hire Authority as the independent body.
But the authority told 7 News it couldn't provide answers to those two questions.
The Premier knew that this corruption was happening. She knew it was happening for years, and she did nothing about it.
And state political reporter Paul Dowsley joins us live. Paul, Moira Deeming's assault claim isn't going away.
And Mitch, this is set to create more problems for the Liberal Party because Moira Deeming is refusing to retract the allegations she made against fellow Liberal MP Matthew Guy or to apologise, despite Liberal leader Jess Wilson saying she should. Police investigated what happened at the event last month and concluded no offence was detected. But today, Ms Deeming released a statement through her lawyer insisting it was not a false complaint and that her description of it as a headlock was a misunderstanding of its meaning. She also says the footage shows Matthew Guy maintaining a grip around her neck and upper shoulder as she attempted to pull away, describing it as unexpected, unwelcome and physically painful. Last Friday, Matthew Guy held a press conference demanding Ms Deeming and the Premier apologise to him. Today, both said they won't. Ms Deeming returns from London soon. We understand it might be tonight. She has agreed to meet with her boss, Jess Wilson, but, Mitch, no word yet on when.
Paul Dowsley, thank you. A pedestrian's been struck and killed by a car at Chelsea. The collision happened in a shopping centre car park just after 11 o'clock this morning. The female victim was treated by emergency services but died at the scene. The driver of the car stopped and is assisting police. A survivor of the Bondi Beach terror attack has revealed how he became a victim all over again within hours of the massacre. An image of Arsen Ostrovsky suffering a gunshot wound circulated online and quickly misinformation spread.
There was almost immediately an influx of hate, of abuse, of vilification, of AI manipulation.
Today's Royal Commission hearing focused largely on the spread of anti-Semitic content and hate speech online and through social media. Motorists are being warned to brace for a petrol price hike as the federal government cuts the fuel excise discount. Jordan Quinn is live from Paran, and Jordan, service stations are being put on notice.
Mitch, they will be closely watched for price gouging when the fuel excise cut is reduced from 32 cents down to 16 cents. This comes into effect on Wednesday, right in the middle of school holidays, and will be in place until August 2. So prices are expected to rise by at least around 16 cents. Now, the ACCC has already hit up retailers, warning them not to try and profit from these changes. Anything more than a 16 cent rise, and the Consumer Watchdog says fines could be dished out. Industry groups expect prices to continue to climb once again over the coming months, so the advice certainly is to take advantage of the discount, with unleaded prices sitting at around $1.50 a litre across Melbourne. Mitch?